I'm not as familiar with early internet like ideology behind it, but I understand it to be that the guys who were like, first pursuing the internet there was this concept of the internet as being a place of sort of like freedom in the sense that it can do like really anything, and
Mhm.
where it was going to go was up to the people who are going to be using it. So there's this like sort of freedom, but also like actualization potential, like built into the whole idea of the internet. And now, you know, the internet is like by and large a sort of marketing tool that's being used. You're constantly being advertised something. But with that promise of the early internet, you have people like hackers as being, like they can do anything. They can unlock anything. They can find out anything. They can like, take advantage of knowledge of how the internet works to do what they want. And then, of course,
Yeah.
Neo being that is like another perfect fit that
Mhm.
even, and it was like kind of, I don't know how early it goes, but the whole like character of a hacker as being, someone who's kind of in the underground, it's
Mhm.
like, again, it adds to this idea of this feeling of like there's promise and freedom inherent in the internet. I
Mm.
think nowadays it's harder to appreciate that as a concept within the internet innately.
Dude, as you're saying that, I'm getting so jacked up right now. I'm
Oh,
so
Right.
excited. I was like,
Yeah.
and the way it works, if I guess let's just shift right into the philosophy of this bad boy. If you take of all of the many lenses that work on the Matrix, if you take the sort of Gnostic lens, there's the way that the hacker is the mage, the little baby wizard who's learning how to manipulate the thing in the Matrix that looks like the Matrix. It's the internet is sort of a um it's a reflection of what the Matrix itself is. And he's learning through that how to, hack the system, which he will do later on when he escapes and then comes back in and understands that it is just another internet that can be hacked. So it's like this, it's like magic done on one level, through the internet of the Matrix, where he's I don't know. For some reason, drug dealers need to buy
Yeah.
programs. I don't
Yeah.
know what the
Right.
fuck is
Spending
going
money on
on.
it too, man, for sure. It
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
like.
I love that he stores all that in a hollowed out copy of a
Yeah.
Baudrillard book,
Right.
which
Right.
sure.
I found out. I found out that's they required the main cast to read 3 books. One of them was Simulacra and Simulation, or I forget which one was first.
Hmm.
Right.
But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
The hacker as kind of this like dark wizard, but kind of a baby wizard compared to what he'll become. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And just like that just started to be a version of the hacker that was out there, where before the
Right.
hacker was in academia, or not even the hacker, but the
Right.
programmer. Like
Sure,
that's
sure.
the person doing it kind of
Only
clandestine. Yeah.
yeah, that's really true. It's almost like the first hacker is Alan Turing, and then you get people at like what IBM with pocket
Sure.
protectors.
MIT. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and then you get sexy hacker who wears little tight leather.
Let's go.
Dude,
Yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss, can we take a moment just of
Mm.
silence for Carrie-Anne Moss?
Sure.
In tight leather.
Bro,
Golly.
not right.
Golly. When she pulled Neo close to her ear early on and when they're in
Oh
the
my
club to
God.
talk to him,
Yeah.
dude, when I was a boy, that I knew about stuff I didn't know about before. It was like, oh, that is exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then again, that sort of thing was like echoed whenever she's trying to bring Neo back, after he like supposedly dies,
Mm-hmm.
all up in his shit. And yeah, dude, that there's so much like tension and It's a really beautiful moment that they got there, man. Very well done.
Mm. They are sort of just trauma bonded, though. I don't really buy
Yeah.
that they have any kind of
Yeah.
meaningful love
Yeah,
developed between them.
that was really like, yeah, it just felt like of course love has to be the thing that saves the
Sure.
day, right? And that to me
Mhm.
felt like the only like sort of cliche that they really decided to rely on.
I had a different read that I would like to you to entertain,
Sure.
if you'd be open to that.
Mhm.
I was thinking about how again, if we use the more spiritual readings, you have this sort of Hindu idea of Maya or illusion, and when you escape that, you get these spiritual powers, and you have a guru and stuff. That's very Hindu. But then there's so much Judeo-Christian concepts like a Messiah and good and evil, and then you even have like Gnostic stuff like the demiurge. Like you have literal archons, the agents going around maintaining a false reality that is loosh farming people's like juice. So that all feels kind of Gnostic, but what really clinches for me um the core like Judeo, or really the core Christian part of the film, is that he died. He
Yeah,
got
that
shot,
line.
and when you
Yep.
die in the Matrix, you die, and he flatlined. He was dead, and it was love that conquered death. And I think that is really beautiful. And also it's cool the way it plays into how the oracle works, and the way
Yeah.
that like fate works, to be, because she was willing to accept her love for him, he finally clicked into being the one. It's like, and this is, any man knows this, you're not really shit until a woman believes in you, and then you click into being the fucking man. I mean, that's just the way, I mean, it's just like, so there ain't nothing like a woman believing in you. But anyways, it's like that there's a mystery there, a man and woman mystery of how, how you become the one. It's not like like the oracle says, you're not, you could be it, you have the gifts, but you don't believe in it yet, so you're not the one. To really believe in it, he needed Trinity's love. Literally, Trinity is her name. Anyways, that I'll step back. That's like my sense of like love conquering death being. It is cheesy, but in a way that is also has that deeper meaning too, I think.
Yeah, I didn't mean to I called it a cliche. It just seemed I guess I would clarify, like, it does have that deeper meaning, and it is a tale as old as time. And you have Gandalf coming back. What did he become? Yeah, whatever. It happens in so many different stories. It just seemed like like a plot item that wasn't as unique as the rest of the plot items in the film, if that
Mm-hmm.
made it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could. I mean, with phrasing it the last way, okay, yeah, I'm good with that. Um, I am a total sucker for like love being the holding together, the glue of things, And Jonathan, we've talked about that with the pairing of horror and love in the Conjuring series, which I think, especially
Mm-hmm.
in the first like two movies, that it does very well by having these people go through what they're going through and making it through it because of love. So like in the Matrix, to me that I thought it brought a lot to the movie and also to even Neo's character, because yeah, Jonathan, I do kind of agree. Like I think for I don't know. I'm hesitant to say it, but like, the idea of a man is um, bonded with a significant other, and a woman like Trinity, I feel like that added a lot to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's like it's a way of getting, because I you know, I have to agree with Cypher whenever he's kind of throwing jabs at Neo, like, God, I can't imagine, what do you say to someone, you know? Like, he's kind of, you can tell Cypher he's kind of toying with Neo whenever they have that quiet moment and he's drinking some homemade alcohol and stuff. But it is legitimate. Like, if you are the one, like, how do you do that? Though there's, like, as far as I see, like, one way, you know, and it's with, like, you know, God, it does sound
Go
cliche.
ahead, say it, baby. Say it with what? With what?
It is with
I didn't
love,
hear
you
it.
know? It's gotta be.
There is kind of the like intentionally vague supernatural spiritual element / character of the oracle and the prophecies, and how much of that is just is to be taken in the universe of the film as like metaphor and symbolic and guidance versus how much they like see it as some sort of spiritual truth. And you know, that is intentionally vague, but ultimately it is a story of people trying to persevere despite like super dire consequences in the so-called real world that they're in. And you know, as far as the human story, the story of humans overcoming adversity, love is the correct answer for how to overcome it. It's just, to me, it felt I don't know. Yeah. It didn't feel bad. It just like it was the right answer, and it wasn't challenging, I suppose.
Right.
I'm noticing as you're saying that Agent Smith has become conscious, and because he is a machine, presumably it's because he's a machine, he doesn't have love. And in fact, what he has, as he admits to Morpheus when he gets the other guys to leave him alone and he gets to just rant to Morpheus, a great scene. Hugo Weaving, Elrond coming in hot. I love the way he's like gripping Morpheus's bald head and the sweat and his fingers. It's so gritty. And he's talking about how even the smell of the Matrix, he despises it, and he has repulsion, and repulsion really is you could say, a lot of people say fear is the opposite of love. Fair enough, but like repulsion is certainly on the opposite side of things than love. And it's interesting that his consciousness that is sort of emergent from being such a fantastically complex program, without love, it's pretty dire. He just kind of wants to no longer have to exist. And the ones who have love will do anything to free each other and to, you know, that, oof. And that's what America's 250th anniversary is all about.
Freedom through love.
I have a question. This is a real question about the movie. Is the red pill? I think they make some mention that it helps them track Neo.
Yeah,
but
no, it helps them disrupt the tracking.
Okay,
from the system or something. Yeah,
it seems like it's a psychedelic that it literally like opens his mind so much that he's able to come to the level of consciousness that's his physical body, rather than the, you know, the thing that's being shot into his brain. He's able to disrupt that enough that he's like, oh, I'm in this tub. And him touching the mirror and the mirror kind of getting on his hand seems like sort of a psychedelic freak out that launches him into that. It had me wonder, and it's not an uncommon experience on psychedelics to wake up in a different reality and like, oh, I'm like out of a simulated reality and I'm in
Yeah, and to add to that, I wondered about how because he got ejected, and I realized that what probably was happening, didn't seem to be addressed in the film directly, but it seemed like somehow he had triggered the dead body signal, and the machine came and unhooked him, and then he was dropped through the chute. And like, why else would there be a chute to get the body out into some giant body of water except that it has died? So there's also the possible ego death metaphor.
Whoa, that is cool. I remember one time, Jim, when you and I were doing research chemicals back in our youth.
Sure.
And we were looking up on Wikipedia for 2CE. We were looking up, we can edit this out, by the way, but we were looking up side effects, and one of them was ego death.
Ego death. We're like, oh, no. Yeah.
That's a hell of a side effect.
Yeah, that's when you're on the right one.
Nausea,
Vomiting.
sweating,
potential vomiting. Oh yeah, and your ego's going to die. So
yeah,
there's that one.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, the red pill for me, like, I don't know. I had always just taken it as like something that's like for giving him an excuse for belief. So in a way, it's a placebo thing. But then I don't know. Even whenever you were just talking, and whenever I read your thing on the document, I was like, yeah, I guess it is a psychedelic. I mean, well, here's the question too: is like, does the mirror actually uncrack, or is he just perceiving that? Because it would be kind of weird, right, if it just uncracked, because what I don't know, totally pointless thought, but thinking on it.
The flip side of that scene is when he's talking to Agent Smith for the first time, and he flips him off and says,
right,
give me my fucking phone call.
Yeah.
How can you talk, Mr. Anderson, when you don't have a mouth? And then that is kind of the same scene, sort of. It's this weird psychedelic horror moment.
Yeah, very body horror. Both of those sequences.
Oh yeah.
I forgot.
No, that shit used to. That I remember, like, having fear from those moments as a younger person. Experiencing it and like legitimately being freaked out by it, especially the mouth one. I feel like I've had nightmares because or at least that incorporate that in my nightmares, like where you have. That.
Yeah, I've had that in my psyche, but I completely forgot it was from the Matrix.
Right.
Yeah. That's something that I think is worth mentioning, is that there are so many genres in this movie. It really hits all kinds of genres.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is also too the mouth sealing thing, because that is like a very I feel like a primal fear, It's like it feels really, really dark to not be able to speak even when you have the ability, It's like, I think it was maybe in Event Horizon, right, where they would sew.
Oh yeah.
The eyes shut or something,
or was it the eyes? Yeah, it may have been the eyes. But either way, something about it feels like a universal fear.
Yeah. What's fucking weird about that, though, like most inborn or most visceral fears involve experiences that can happen and would be really traumatic, like the loss of a loved one, the loss of a limb, a snake, something like that. Those are visceral universal fears. But for some reason, when you say that, I'm like, yeah, I can imagine my mouth being glued shut and being scared about that. But why?
Yeah.
When has that ever happened to anybody?
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say it was, I hadn't thought of it until just now, but like, that being sealed shut. And then when he emerges from the pod and the feeding tube or whatever is removed from his mouth, it really undoes.
Oh, yeah.
Undoes that moment.
I even had like body horror moments from the link up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In the back. And then whenever he gets out of the pod, it just poof, 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 poof. You know, all of them coming out of his skin. And then he's got these giant fucking raised mechanical
Yeah.
things inside of him. Very freaky, scary feeling.
I will say, like for me philosophically, and people I'm sure have made this point many times, but I wanted to bring an insight in that I gathered from our simulation theory episode. So, you know, when they take the red pill and then they're on the Nebuchadnezzar, first of all, how did people who had freed themselves have the technology to build a ship like that? There's plenty of plot holes to discuss, but
Sure.
you know, once you're liberated from the matrix in the so-called real world, I use the phrase like one should have vanishing confidence that the real world you are in is now not also a simulation of some other layer. Because if there was one, but Nick Bostrom came out, formalized his like alternatives for the simulation theory in 2003 after the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, his part of that was that if there is one simulation, then it's possible and it has been decided to be done. Therefore, it's almost certain that there are layers and layers deep. So in that sense, I guess I would side with Cypher, who says, you know, why didn't I take the blue pill? Because having taken the red pill, like confidence that that was the last layer should be zero. So you might as well be in the layer that is better.
Mm-hmm. That's so
you can't go back, though. You can't go
interesting.
back.
Yeah.
The Cypher defense.
Yeah.
I listened to several like people giving theories on the Matrix as I was like working today, and I just kept feeling like excuse me, like totally disagreeing with most of them. Because as I watch the Matrix, I get the reinforcement of like this belief that we just cannot understand reality, and it's plain and simple. And trying to frame things like a simulation or something is like, oh, we can understand reality through this lens. And it's doing away with the fact that no matter how you think about it, we cannot understand reality as reality is understood to be what is actual, what is like real, you know? I don't know, I just came away feeling like, oh yeah, no, it's simulation or not any of it. It's the fact is we just can't understand our reality that we're in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
right on.
much love. Yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay.
The prophet
Do you need to end before I leave?
in all of us.
Oh, right. Yeah. You want to say that
keeping
tagline
that,
again
baby.
without my...
We're keeping that. That's a good ending.
Right on. Right on.